Hey everyone, my name's Sam Lambert, one of the co-founders of Zenke, and I'm here to do the closeout report and closeout video for the Fund 11 proposal that we've had. So the title is around implementing RWA tokenization, traceability, and verifiable credentials. Um, there were a few changes actually that took place with this proposal, and we shifted the target market from East Africa into Zambia, as well as sort of landed on honey as the working commodity that we want to implement these solutions with. So this has actually been quite a long project that we've been running. So nearly 18 months, we've been working closely with Nature's Nectar, a social impact honey company, to help them with the supply chain traceability and sort of implementing sort of credentials and oracles sort of along the way. So I want to just go over the closeout report just quickly. There are several different KPI challenges that we were looking into. Firstly, around the sort of advancing practical blockchain use cases, especially from a traceability context. So how can you experiment and use credentials in a smart way, biometrics, oracles, as well as the anchoring of other events on chain as well. So one of the key areas that we ended up landing on was actually thinking about how you verify stuff off chain before it makes its way actually on chain and sort of is anchored there immutably. So we did develop some solutions there that you'll find in detail in the different links that we have. But the main thing was really around leveraging credentials. In this case, we use ADA handles to link to individual user IDs of people that were responsible for submitting information. And really what we're trying to capture was the who, what, where, and when sort of problem to make sure that there was no fraud happening within a system. The other stuff as well was expanding blockchain accessibility beyond crypto native users. All of the farmers, factory operators that we worked with were non-crypto users. So we needed to effectively abstract all the on-chain components and simplify all the workflows such that they were benefiting from a blockchain-enabled solution, but didn't need to worry about what it was trying to do. So in terms of the actual project itself, in April of 2025, we went to Zambia, and I went to Zambia, and we had the first sort of pilot that we launched from the MVP point of view. We'd been working about 6 months before that, maybe even longer, in terms of mapping the workflows, trying to understand the systems and so the processes that we need to bring over and so build out with them. And whilst we're in Zambia, which was about a 3-week period, we had a number of different onboarding sessions. We went and visited some of the communities. We also ran a multi-stakeholder sort of dialogue event, which is one of the big workshops that I think there were maybe 30 or so representatives that attended across NGOs and the different organizations through government, SME level as well. So we deployed the pilot, which was the ability to trace different events on board farmers and capture information, all offline-based technology, and since events data being put on chain as well. So this is some of the system. You can see different links across batch management, processing, harvesting, and sort of surveys as well. One of the next thing that we did as we sort of laid out the implementation was bringing in the remaining blockchain elements. So the first was around credentials, which I talked about, which was mainly coming at from a fraud point of view and making sure that data was being verified before it was actually being put on chain. And then the other use case that we worked on was around oracles. We made a breakthrough in terms of how we've implemented oracles, and our sort of solution has been around putting farmer payment data on chain. And this is typically cash payments that are taking place, which aren't recorded anywhere other than our system. So we thought it's a good way to put this information on chain, make it available, still protecting sort of privacy as well at the same time by sort of abstracting some of the IDs and sort of not including names and sort of PII as well. So this is meant to be available such that financial institutions in the future will be able to see like what was happening with that particular farmer and sort of extend a line of credit to them in the future. So we did about 6 months of testing. We sort of officially wrapped up the pilot in Q4, towards the end of Q4 actually, of last year. And so now in the process of migrating everything over into a more mature sort of V2 solution. So we did quite a lot. Like it wasn't just with Nature's Nectar that we worked with. We obviously ran the Agri-Tech Dialogue Forum, which was that big workshop, but we also had the opportunity to work quite closely with the University of Amsterdam, and did some analysis on the data that were collected through the system. And so from an impact point of view, through the Nature's Nectar network, we so worked with about, through the system, 3,000 farmers, 30,000 beehives. And so we're able to test in a live environment data collection for these critical data events, on-chain anchoring of these verified supply chain events, and so test technologies out in the field around credential-based submission, oracles, as well as just more sort of yield estimation and data analysis as well with the university. So yeah, really excited to be able to share all of this. We've provided all the links below. And yeah, thank you very much for the community's support. And we look forward to getting the feedback, and so moving this over and migrating it over into a more scalable system. So thank you again to everyone, and really excited to get the feedback.